after Salah is over, if you can just stop this one and this one here, just press stop. After the Quba. Yeah, after the Quba.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Apologies for keeping you all waiting. Technical issues and delays. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I've been asked to deliver the Jummah today, alhamdulillah, by Sheikh Moulana, and I am in no position to do it, but alhamdulillah, I'll see what I can do, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, a few familiar faces, alhamdulillah. And today we're going to talk about knowledge, the merits and compulsion of knowledge. Alhamdulillah, we know from cradle, when we are born, to the grave, when we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're always learning something. Knowledge is something that there's no end to. It's like if I tell you, okay, here's the beginning of the ocean, you show me where the end of the ocean is. Very unlikely you would pinpoint the exact location of the ocean. That's similar to knowledge, because every single day we're learning something different. We're learning something new. We can be a master. We have a master's degree, for example, in our field of doctor or accountants or alim or whichever. But we always learn something else new every single day. Alhamdulillah. And if we look at our own household, in terms of whether we're parents or whether we're children, we always learn something from our elders, one way or another, whether it be our parents, our grandparents, our teachers in school or madrasas. Because the madrasa teachers as well as the school teachers, whether they're Muslim or not Muslim, we always learn some form of knowledge even from school teachers. And our asatidas, when we were learning, always told us, you have three parents: your normal parents, your madrasa teachers, and your school teachers. Why? Because you're learning knowledge from them of some sort. We respect them. We always make dua for them because they instill in us good character or good knowledge, so that we can proceed in the later stages and be successful in the world, inshallah. And when we look at the Islamic knowledge and we learn from the madrasa system, from our homes, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in Bukhari Sharif, فَقَدْ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, convey from me even though it may be a verse. So even if we can tell someone, for example, we see them making a mess, for example, or child or adult, they're making a mess. We don't go to us, what are you doing? Tidy up, whatever. We kind of flip it on the other side and say, it'd be better if we keep the masjid, for example, clean. Let me help you clean up. So we're not targeting them and being abusive to them by saying, look at you, you're making a mess. What's this? No, but we flip it and say, let me help you tidy up. It's better to keep the masjid clean. Every dirt we pick up, we get rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. And Islamically, we are taught as Muslims that cleanliness is half of our iman, whether it be ourselves, our body, our household, the masjids, the streets we live in, the household we live in. We as Muslims should show as much as we can cleanliness and just generally what Islam is, because we all know the messages the society and the world gets from the media is not truly of the characteristics of Muslims, unfortunately. But then it falls on us as individuals, the people we interact with, whether it be at school, workplace, neighbors. We show the characteristics of our Prophet ﷺ, how he had dealt with these kind of abusive situations or the neighbors, etc. Because if you look at the Prophet ﷺ's stories, there's many occasions where we find when, for example, when he saw an old woman walking with heavy bags, he said, "Let me help you." Now, she accepted it, and he was walking alongside. She had no clue who the Prophet ﷺ was. And she's there walking and abusing, do you know this man, this, that, the other, he's this, that, the other. And the Prophet ﷺ stayed quiet throughout the journey. When they got to her destination, she thanked him and she's asked, "Who are you?" And Prophet ﷺ, "I'm the one who you were talking about all this time." Allahu Akbar. And if it was one of us in this day and age, what would we do? Drop the bags and probably done something else. Auzubillah. May Allah protect us from doing any wrongdoings in that sense. So, the journey of knowledge from cradle to grave is the journey similar to the journey of life. We learn things, as we grow up, we learn new things. Similarly, as we have teachers, as we have parents, we learn new things from them all. And another hadith in Muslim Sharif, فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. Whoever treads in a path in search of knowledge, Allah will thereby make his way to Jannah easy. Subhanallah. As long as we be true Muslims and correct our mistakes as Muslims, so something that's in deen that we're not allowed to do, and we find out and we acknowledge it and we rectify our errors, that is the next path to Jannah, the path to Jannah. We all make dua, please Allah grant me Jannah, please help us sustain. But then if we're doing other things that we know we're doing wrong, but we do not acknowledge it, we don't change our ways. Yes, we'll be going through trials and tribulations in life, but that's all of journey of life that Allah has sustained. Because Allah tests all of mankind in one shape or another. One person is tested through sickness and ill health. Another person is losing money, becoming poor, or becoming homeless. Allah tests different characters according to what they can sustain. So Allah does not test you beyond your means. And unless we acknowledge and we gain the knowledge of these kind of trials and tribulations by asking ulama or muftis and searching the knowledge ourselves in books, then we can it'll either break us or make us. And it's better to make us than break us. Because when we break, I know some cases in Leicester and out of Leicester where the families are broken and some people have left Islam. May Allah protect our iman. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم. To seek knowledge is compulsory on every Muslim. And that's conveyed in Ibn Majah. So the Prophet ﷺ saying that knowledge is compulsory The, the same way, if our, for example, to put it in layman's terms, if your employer said you have to be at work 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. to get your bonus or to keep your job, you're gonna make sure you get there, no matter if it means not sleeping, not eating breakfast, whatever it is. The same way, these are the words of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who should be every Muslim's role model, because we are today because of our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the sacrifices he made, the help the Anbiya Alayhi Salam gave him. And only when we read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, we acknowledge the trials, the tribulations, the hardships he went through, and the sacrifices. It wasn't easy in that day and age. To us, because the society has become so that we get everything on a plate almost, and we kind of have forgotten our roots. In pre-2000, we we are more thankful for the upbringing we had, because that was pre-modern society how it is now, pre-computers, pre-mobile phones, pre-technology, the way it is today. And in some houses is such that just to get the kids out of the hair, they give them gadgets and you do what you want. But that's not our parental teaching towards our children. To learn from us, they need to see us as well. So, for example, if they go madrasa and they taught how to do salah and pray salah, they're of the age there, they need to pray salah. And if they come home and they see either parent not praying or never praying, they're going to question themselves. If we're being told that in this side, why is this not taking place at home? So we got to kind of practice what we preach, especially to our children. So if we say to our children, be good, but then outside with our neighbors, someone's got us angry, we show bad character instead of the characteristic of beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they see us. That in itself is some form of knowledge that you need learning. Okay, if that's happening to me, I can do what my dad did or what my mom did. So every day is a different learning curve that either ourselves or our children learn. And we can only do and learn what we are capable of. And sometimes we think we know everything. When we study, we've got a degree from university or Alamiya or whichever. But it's not the case, because we'll learn something else from an elderly person of the same degree or the same job role. So we cannot think we're above anyone else just because we've got our degree certificates. Certificate is just a piece of paper. Because if we think this is we're on top of the world, in the eyes of Allah and in the court of Allah, it'll be a different case. It's like when we are fined or we have a court case for any reason, and we go before a judge, we're going to stand there not knowing what the accountability is. And that is not going to be anything compared to the accountability in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way we can prepare ourselves for that time is by gaining the knowledge, Islamic knowledge of what we must do, right or wrong. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ states, وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام تعلموا الفرائض والقرآن علموا الناس فإني مقبود.